The automobile industry is fast moving towards a future where internal combustion engines will be phased out in favor of more sustainable, cleaner vehicles. Elon Musk's Tesla is leading this revolution with a rapid push toward an all-electric future. However, battery electric vehicles aren't the only eco-friendly alternative to the traditional gasoline cars. Hydrogen fuel cells are even better than battery electric vehicles in moving toward a future with zero carbon emissions. Not everyone is on board with the idea, but a switch to hydrogen-fueled vehicles seems inevitable and has the potential to shock the entire vehicle industry. The concept for hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles, or FCEVs, has been around for a long time. The idea recently caught steam when German researchers revealed a modified Tesla Model Y that had been converted into a hydrogen-powered vehicle. However, it doesn't seem like Tesla was involved in the project because Elon Musk isn't a great fan of fuel cell technology. He has referred to fuel cells as full cells and called the idea for FCEVs staggeringly dumb. Despite the criticism, many prominent car makers like Toyota and Hyundai are investing billions in the industry and have already released hydrogen cars. So, are FCEVs emerging as competitors to battery electric vehicles like Tesla's? For this, we'll first look at how the fuel cell vehicles work and how they compare to battery electric vehicles. Both FCEVs and BEVs are similar in the sense that they don't require an internal combustion engine and turn electrical energy into rotational movement that runs the car. However, the difference lies in how that energy is produced. For a BEV like Tesla, the energy comes directly from a lithium-ion battery, which powers an electric motor that drives the car. Meanwhile, a fuel cell system produces electricity by a chemical reaction between oxygen from the air and hydrogen stored in the vehicle's hydrogen tanks. The only byproduct of this reaction is water, which is released out of a vent beneath the car. So the energy produced to power a fuel cell vehicle is 100% clean and is set to play a key role in the future of clean transportation. On the other hand, the process of manufacturing lithium-ion batteries for Tesla EVs raises a lot of environmental concerns. It involves mining for crucial metals like cobalt and lithium, which is a carbon-intensive process. The environmental problems become even bigger at the end of a battery's life cycle, as just 5% of EV batteries get recycled, and the rest are destined for landfills. In addition to being eco-friendly, hydrogen cars are also performing better than Tesla BEVs when it comes to charging times and range. The charging time for a Tesla is a major concern for consumers. Even with the fastness of charging infrastructures, a Tesla can take up to an hour to attain a full charge. An FCEV, on the other hand, can be refueled with hydrogen like a normal internal combustion engine, meaning that you're on your way with a full tank in less than 5 minutes. Not only that, the currently available FCEVs also last longer on a full tank. The latest models of Toyota Mirai and Hyundai Nexo have a range of over 400 miles, while the comparable Tesla Model 3 can go close to 300 miles on full charge. Hydrogen cars also come out on top in colder conditions, where EVs are known to shed performance. In freezing temperatures, a Tesla Model 3 can drop 20% of its range. However, no such difference occurs in a fuel cell vehicle because the heat generated by the oxygen-hydrogen reaction will keep the car warm. It is apparent that hydrogen cars come out on top in comparison with Tesla EVs on most metrics. So why is Elon Musk such a big critic of the technology? That's because despite the amazing application, fuel cell vehicles have some difficult challenges of their own. The biggest of these challenges is a significantly higher operating cost for an FCEV as compared to a BEV. Even though a hydrogen tank lasts longer than an EV, the cost of refueling is 3 times more. That's because extracting hydrogen from the environment and then making it usable for a car is a complicated and inefficient process. To power an FCEV, renewable energy has to be converted into hydrogen, which is only about 75% efficient. So, around 1/4 of the electricity is automatically lost. The hydrogen produced has to be compressed and transported to the hydrogen station, where it loses 10% more energy. Once inside the vehicle, the hydrogen then needs to be converted into electricity, where it loses another quarter of the original energy. This means that only 30 to 40% of the original energy is used. Since the energy for an electric car comes directly from the source, its efficiency is over 80% or more than double when compared to a fuel cell car. The next major challenge for FCEVs is storing and transporting of hydrogen. In a recent interview with the Financial Times, Elon Musk pointed to this problem and described hydrogen as, quote, "the most dumb thing I could possibly imagine for energy storage," end quote. He believes that the need for gigantic tanks to hold hydrogen in liquid form and then transport it is a silly idea. That's because the only options that hydrogen supply companies will have are to either transport the hydrogen on tankers or generate hydrogen on site. Shipping hydrogen via trucks can be costly and a safety risk, while generating hydrogen on site requires massive infrastructure investments. Because of the high transportation and storage costs, constructing a hydrogen fueling station remains a big problem. The average cost for one such station is in upwards of $1 million. In comparison, building a gasoline or electric power station will cost about $50,000 on average. This is why there were less than 500 hydrogen fueling stations worldwide by the end of 2021, and less than 50 of those were based in the United States. Hydrogen storage problems aren't just limited to fueling stations. Hydrogen's poor volumetric energy density means that storing enough of it in a vehicle poses weight, kinetics, safety, and cost challenges. The tank proportions required for a fuel cell car are even greater than the traditional petrol tanks. This is a major issue, as power-to-weight ratio is an important consideration for smooth performance of an electric car. All these issues combined have meant that despite being around for more than 6 decades, there's still no mass production for FCEVs, which translates into higher car prices. Considering that operating costs are already so high, FCEVs don't seem like an appealing prospect at the moment. Owing to these problems, Elon Musk has remained a major detractor of the fuel cell vehicles. However, he isn't the only one. Volkswagen CEO Herbert Diess is also on the same page and has struck down any possibility that Volkswagen will shift focus toward fuel cell vehicles. Even though Tesla and Volkswagen are strong critics, there are other big manufacturers that see promise in the future of FCEVs. As of now, there are 2 hydrogen cars publicly available in select markets: the Toyota Mirai and the Hyundai Nexo. This number is set to increase in the next 5 years, with brands such as BMW, Land Rover, and Vauxhall planning new models. Daimler has also announced a deal with Volvo Trucks to develop heavy-duty vehicles powered by fuel cell technology. The 2 companies aim to have fuel cell power trucks ready for the market after 2025. The biggest pledge to get hydrogen-fueled vehicles on the roads has come from China, as they've set the goal of producing over 1 million FCEVs by 2030. With so many investments and fuel cell cars already on the roads, it seems like a transition to hydrogen cars is inevitable. Most industry experts agree that in the shift away from gasoline cars, BEVs and FCEVs both provide viable options and can coexist in the future. The wide-scale adoption of fuel cell vehicles will largely depend on the improvements in infrastructure. The U.S. government has taken note of that, and according to the Infrastructure Act of 2021, they'll set aside $8 billion to set up at least 4 clean hydrogen hubs in the country. This means that fuel cell vehicles are here to stay, and Tesla might have to make some changes to its hardline stance on hydrogen. Tesla owns more than half of the electric vehicle market in America and is the undisputed global leader when it comes to producing zero-emission vehicles. However, once the FCEVs become more common, Tesla will have multiple new competitors in the automobile industry. With their superior technologies and strong reputation, Tesla is well placed to take advantage of the transition to fuel cell vehicles. But for that to happen, Elon Musk must embrace this innovation at the earliest.